Shalom.
All right. So we back at it again with a quick lesson. Lord willingly, it'll be spiritual and informative. Before we get started, we want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh,
How the
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Hey, double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. Shalom. All right. So, me and the brother, we was just building before we went live, in the spirit of, something dealing with listening, man. Listening, humbling yourself down. Is the volume good? Okay. All right. Is the listening, submitting, really taking the low, humbling down. These are true attributes and characteristics and skills, really, that we're learning in the process of this. And in the process of this, it's really important to never, never lose, never lose that entry level listening.
yeah.
We always talk about entry level, energy, but what about that spirit of listening that you had when you first came in? You know, just want to hear. You can't believe the things that you're hearing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot to this, and mainly speaking on listening to what the Spirit is saying, man. You know,
Yeah.
listening to what the apostles and elders are saying, listening to what the elders of your camp are saying, listening to what the leadership, your camp heads have to say, man. All right, the Lord put these men in these positions, and it comes with the submitting. Matter of fact, I know I said a scripture, but I'm gonna get a scripture real quick,
Okay,
if you
come.
don't mind, real quick one. This is I believe it's Ephesians 6:1, and it says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it
Mm-hmm.
may be well with thee, that thou mayest live long on the earth." All right. So the first verse says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord."
Yep.
We're all we're all the children. Hey man, we listen, man. It's too late in the game, man. If you offended by these sayings, then really f off, man. But really through the Spirit, hey man, we're all we're children unto the apostles and elders, man.
Right.
You're children unto your camp leaders. You're babe. We all have to start at a babe position. We grow. You become, Lord willingly, if you endure a young, a young child in this, a child, then you become a young man, and then become a man like the apostles and elders, with enduring. But so we're all children here. We're all children of somebody, right, bro?
Come.
So we got to obey, and part of obeying is listening. Matter of fact, you mind looking up that word obey? See what comes up with that word obey. So you gotta listen. You want to be more in tune with listening. Hey,
Right.
I know you can attest to this. I start feeling uncomfortable if I talk too much. Like, man, I'm talking too much, man. I'm gonna exercise shutting up more, man. No, don't you feel? I'm pretty sure you feel that way. Just like, nah, man. I'm just. Hey, you know what, man? I'm gonna exercise that, man.
Yeah.
No, you got that word?
Yep. This is the word obey on the online etymology. It's 13th century. It says carry out the commands of someone, submit to a command, rule, be ruled by,
Mm,
obey, be obedient, do one's duty,
mm.
obey, be subject, serve. Here's a good one: pay attention to or give ear.
Ooh, you got it, bro. If you want to bring out something to it.
Yeah, man, like you're saying, and we've been given the examples of our apostles and our elders, and especially here in Atlanta, man, we got great elders here too, because
Yep.
and I said this weeks ago. I said this, they give us perfect examples of how to move, how young men should move in the truth, man. It's like if you're not listening to what advice or counsel, you're gonna fuck up out here, and like you said, and it's gonna be your own fault because you weren't listening. You just don't listen, man. It's like you gotta listen. If you're not listening, you're definitely not following the spirit.
Bro, I was watching this movie yesterday, and I might drop it in the group. And if you're watching this, it's a good movie you should watch. It's called Ananopolis with Tyson.
Oh,
You seen that movie?
uh, uh, Tyrese
Tyrese is in it.
and what's the boy that played James Franco?
Yep, James Franco. Yep, yes, sir. So in the movie, it's a military movie. But what's his name? James? He was
Yeah,
he was just hard-headed the whole movie. Like he had will, he had tenacity, he had all those underlying elements for success, but he was just so headstrong on doing it himself that it was beat. He was just not achieving until I don't know if you remember the movie, until one guy said, "Man, you're going to need help in this. You can't will yourself through this."
right.
And I was like, "Man, this is a spiritual movie, man. That's a very spiritual movie." So he had to, at that moment, he had to listen. He had to listen. And then what did he do? He went around to different people that he trusts. He helped them and they helped him. He was able to expand and he was able to achieve what he was looking to achieve.
Right.
But it started with first humbling down and listening. So, hey man, you gotta obey. To obey, to be given a commandment means that somebody is talking and somebody gotta listen.
Right. Got a quick one.
Yes, sir. Go ahead with it.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1.
That's the
It
spirit.
says,
I just
"Children."
read
Oh shit.
it.
God. I was
Read it
looking for
again. Read
something
it,
else,
bro.
and yeah, God. It popped up. I was looking for something else. It's Ephesians 6:1. Again, it says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And not only is it right, but it's safety in obeying. Your parents. It's like you got a younger brother or older brother. And I was always the one getting spanked when I was younger because I didn't listen. But I always would. My siblings would be there looking at me getting spanked, and it's like, damn, if you would have just listened, you wouldn't be getting your ass kicked right now. And it's kind of like what we're going into.
Yep. And
It
you
says,
keep reading. Matter of fact, keep reading.
keep reading it. Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 2. It says, "Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, that thou mayest live long on the earth."
Because like you said, it's safety. It's safety in listening. That's why the commandments say, honor thy mother and thy father. There's safety in that. Because if somebody loves you, because who loves you more than your mother and your father in most cases on the earth? Nobody.
Right.
They're not going to tell you something in most cases. Of course, our people are wicked. There are wicked people, but in the generalization of a child with the parents, with his father and mother, most fathers and mothers are not going to lead you down the wrong path because you are like a tender thing to them.
Right.
And that's how the elders and leader brothers in leadership, that's how the apostles and elders, camp leaders, because hey man, through the spirit, even within our own camp, man, our camp leaders, man, we are privy to it, but man, the things that they've been through,
Yep.
you can't just honor it when it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you gotta honor it when you gotta honor it, the good, the bad, the ugly, because if it's honorable, it's gotta be honored. You talk
Exactly.
about giving, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that our apostles and elders have been through and been bodied and being tested. The scriptures speak about experience. They have the experience in what we are doing. That's why this is not about being liked. It's not about being all those things that people try to make it. It's all about submitting to the spirit.
Yeah.
That's really what it's
Yep.
all about.
Yep.
You keep going, brother.
Okay. Ephesians 6 and verse
4.
4. It says, "And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord."
And
Which
that's
the
hey,
word,
hold on. That's it. And everything, and you got something to say, brother, please add. But through the spirit, that's and it says, because our apostles and elders, if they provoke us, you know what? I'll say it. They provoke us to do better. They provoke us in righteousness' sake. You know what I'm saying? They're always pushing us to be better men, be better servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, etc., etc. That's righteous provoking. But we're not here to be tyrants over each other. Because at the end of the day, we're our brother's keeper.
yeah. Yep.
But you can't be coming in this. We can't come in. I'm not even gonna say like because we all gotta check ourselves. So I gotta be a better listener. You gotta be a better listener. This is just across the board. You don't want to come in the spirit of Cain.
Right.
You don't want to be that kind of brother. Cain didn't listen. He didn't listen. You want to come in the spirit of Abel. Abel listened. That was the righteousness. You want to be a person that listens. Listen, righteousness is listening. That's where righteousness begins. Listening. You keep going, brother, or if you got something to say, brother, add.
Yeah, I got that word nurture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on the online etymology, it says upbringing, the act of responsibility of rearing a child, breeding, manners, courtesy. Here's the one I want to bring out though. It says food, nourishment, education, or training. But like you're saying, but y'all read that again.
Yeah, man.
It says, "And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture," or if you throw in the word training or education, and admonition, which we know goes into giving the warnings, right? It says, "But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord." You know,
Man, and that comes with training, any level of training. Like there's the master, right, and then there's a student. So you have to submit to the fact that you are a student.
right?
Sometimes you learn and you elevate in your students, in your school. You know what I'm trying to say. But even so, that just gives you a little bit more responsibility to be a teacher to others what you've learned. But you still got to remember, you're still a student. An elementary student is still a babe compared to a middle schooler. A middle schooler is a babe compared to a high schooler. A high schooler is a babe compared to a college student. A college student is a babe in comparison to somebody that's in graduate school or medical school. Or you get what I'm trying to say? The education doesn't just top off. You're always a student as long as you're in the mind frame of submitting to the fact you're a student.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You got it, brother.
Con. This is verse 5. It's Ephesians 6 and 5. It says, "Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh."
Come on, man. That's what we've been saying. The scripture just brought it home.
Yeah, it don't get no clearer than that. Yeah.
Come on, man. We're servants. You got to remember that we came in here to serve. We are servants. There's always somebody to serve. And if you have a problem with the mind frame of that, then this isn't really where you should. This isn't where you're supposed to be at. If Yahushua came in the earth and he washed the feet of his disciples, as he said, and he said, and in this matter, he said, in this manner shall you do. Do we go around to each other's houses and wash feet and stuff like that? No. But you got to never lose sight of humility and being humble and service. We're servants. And,
Yeah.
you got it, brother.
God, it says servants, and then there's a comma there, so there's a pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we
It
go.
says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh,
Hold on.
with fear.
No, because let's lay it out, brother. We got to lay it out because men want to make it seem like Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Rumlab are your only masters.
Right.
Those are the head masters. Your camp leaders are your masters. Those are your masters.
Same thing with Moses. When Moses broke down his captains of 50s, they were those masters within their respected position under Moses.
Yep.
It's the same thing with our apostles now, and then we got our elders here in our respective camp. Those are our leaders. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we still have to, because believe it or not, they're all in the same spirit.
Yes.
They all give the same counsel. They all give the same advice. They all push the same spirit. They all push the same truth. So, of course, you're supposed to listen to those that are above you, in the spirit, in the camp, as well as the apostles, man. It's just about listening.
Listen to this. This is the Greek word for master.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Strong's G 2962. Kurios.
You heard that?
Yeah.
You heard that? All right, I'm gonna play it one more time. I just want to make sure it was heard.
Strong's G 2962. Kurios.
All right. And it means he to whom a person or things belong. Come on, man. About which he has power of deciding. Master, Lord. All right. So this is what it goes into. The person in the senses who has the power to make decisions. That's your leadership. All right. That's your leadership. That's why when you have certain matters, and you and I as well know, certain matters we're able to decide on, but in certain matters, we got to report it up. Hey, just reporting to you that this is what's going on. What do you want me to do for this?
Right.
Okay, you want me to do X, Y, and Z? All right, I'll report it back. From the report, X, Y, and Z got to be done. Let's get it done. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
But see, Jake getting a feelings about these words. Oh, that's man pleasing. You don't even know what the fuck you're saying, man. You got it, bro.
Good. It says, verse 5 again. It says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Hamashiach, Yahushua Hamashiach, not with eye service.
Hold on. It said, according with fear and trembling.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is where the respect and reverence comes into play. Like we said, going back to that entry level when you first came around, man. I'll say it here, because what does it matter? But I'll say it here. I remember the first time to go from like how we doing it right now, watching these videos, and I'm like studying and learning so much, and it's like, whoa. The first time I met Elder Ariala, I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like certain, elders and apostles. Hell, the brothers in my camp, I still carry it that same way. They don't, whatever, man. They may not recognize it, or I hope they do in the spirit. But man, I still treat them as, man, they're through the spirit. I might be here, but they're way, it's a distance between me and them. I have that respect towards them. A lot of men lose sight of that when they get in and you get comfortable and familiar. You got phone numbers, we eating chicken together. We at the house together. We done had drinks together, right? We done got comfortable. but they lose sight of, like, how did you feel when you first got here?
Right.
How'd you feel?
Yeah.
Shit, speak on it. You got it, bro.
Hey man, I listen. We've had that conversation, and I put it out there. I'm still pretty much. I'm probably more quiet now, still, than I was, when I first came in, because then you start to realize as you get 2 years more in the truth, so do they, and it's like you still got to understand that they still got 10 plus on you. So I'm moving, Lord willingly, with them, but I'm still behind you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am in my spirit, and that's how I look at all the elders in
That's
our
real.
camp here. It's like, yes, I've got another year of experience, but I'm still 12, 15 years behind of what, what I'm saying? And that's even with the apostles. It's like, it's just, to me right now, it's more about listening, because, things are getting so crazy and chaotic, and they're going to get worse. It's like, 7 years, 6, 7 years in, I'm going to listen to like, even at the job, like, any particular job, I'm going to the guy that's been there the longest, because he has the most experience and he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
So I'm over there asking him 1,000 questions about it, and I'll tell the guy, like, look, man, I'm gonna ask you 1,000 questions, and it may be the same question 10 times, but in order for me to get better understanding, I gotta ask it that way, or I may word it a different way, and that's just, like you said, you got to keep that entry level of listening and questioning. It's like, and to me, I feel in a better space when I'm able to listen more and ask more questions. To me, that's just safety. That's just like being quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Or
hey,
keeping it simple.
yep. We said this. We were talking about this, and we'll put it out here because, hey, it's wisdom. You were like, man, the more conversations you have, the more you talk, leaves more room for you to say some bullshit.
Right.
It's just with anything, it's probability. What if it's a one in 10,000 conversations that you have, that some bullshit folly come out of your mouth, right? Let's just say it was just something like that. What if you knew how many? Like, damn, every 500 conversations I have, some bullshit come out. You'll be considerate of, like, man, nah, I gotta be cautious of my conversations. Hey, you know what, that movie, Eddie Murphy. Remember Eddie Murphy had that movie back in the day where his words was tied to a tree, and every time he spoke, a leaf fell off. So he was being very cautious with his words. Like, there's plenty of movies that show you that there's a wisdom to being more of a listener than a speaker. We're speaking here because we're doing a lesson. But if we weren't doing a lesson, right, as soon as we cut this off, it's gonna go back. All right, it's time to get back in the quiet mode, right? So you keep reading, brother, unless you got something.
I'll keep reading. I got a couple. It
Okay.
says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, not with eye service, as men pleasers, but as the servants of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, doing the will of the Most High from the heart, with good will, doing service as to the Lord and not to men.
Yeah, man. You got to keep it sincere. You got to keep it sincere. This is not about coming in here and thinking you're going to play on the hearts of men and I'm going to win you over and I'm going to make you like me, because, man, we're dealing with, this is spiritual. All of this is spiritual. This is not about being fake. You can't fake be like what we're talking about. You can't fake this. If you don't recognize and respect if you can't spiritually see the distance between you and your leadership or the apostles and elders, just down the road, it's all the men that was there pushing Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai before you. If you don't see, like, nah, this brother, man, I ain't about to play with him.
Right. Because you know what? And you better believe that those men, those elders, and they know when somebody's on some bullshit. They just let you get away with it.
Yeah, man. That's
But
so you can't be doing it with trying to man please. You know,
right.
we've seen that before too. Don't come in this thing thinking you're gonna buy somebody over with, you know, drinks and food and things that bring a level of comfort to brothers, man. That's not gonna kick it. It's got to come in the spiritual sense. Like, nah, hey, I'm doing this. Like, hey, like you, this brother here, you did that. You cooked that spaghetti, that pasta dish you did the other day. You know, that came from the spirit, and brothers felt that. You know what I'm saying? It was felt, and it was appreciated. So it wasn't coming from nah, if I do this and this brother eat this dish, he gonna know that I'm a like, come on, man. That's not what this is about. It's just about, nah, man, men deserve a good meal, and I'm gonna do my best to provide a meal for the service of Yahweh Shemi Yahushua.
Yeah. Yep.
You got it, brother. Hey,
Got-
you can if the spirit, if you want to keep reading, or if you got another precept, you can bring it out, brother.
Okay, I got something. This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14. It says, "Where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety." And what comes with getting counsel is you got to listen. That's basically what you opened up with, is listening. That's crucial. There's a Jake I know in the world. He used to say that when we was younger. He used to always say that was his favorite word. I think was crucial.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a crucial part of this walk is listening and following the spirit of following the spirit and but really listening to what the spirit be saying, man.
Yeah.
All right. I got something else. This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 17. It says, and then I got one more after that. All right. It says, Hebrews 13 and 17. Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. Like you were saying, some men be thinking about it as, that's men pleasing. No, that's not what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll read it again because I got interrupted. It says,
Yeah.
obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yep.
Men be thinking it's about lordship over you, and it ain't even about that, man. It's about brothers giving a fuck about your life and your safety and your family, and they just looking out for your fucking soul, man. And you just won't pay, man. If you won't even pay attention to the little things. We were talking about that earlier. If you're not gonna pay attention to the little things, you're definitely not gonna pay attention to the bigger things. And right now, we're not even dealing with the bigger, more um, deadlier things at the moment. We're dealing with the lighter things right now. If you can't get through the lighter things right now, you may not get through the hard stuff, man. And if you
Because hey,
can't get through the light stuff by not listening,
hey, listen, if I may say, brother, to add to your point, like right now, you talking about from an element of a brother just gonna tell you how to carnally get better in this world to a certain extent. Like,
right,
taking care of certain things. Hey, you might want to make this move instead of that move to handle that here. It's listening to those things and advice in those regards, because that's part of it too. But like you say, what about the big things? We talk about this. What if one day the Lord what if the Lord come to you in dream? Like you come to you in a dream and say, hey, you got to get all the brothers in the camp and your families. Y'all got to get the fuck out of XYZ. Y'all got to head south.
right,
And you wake up and you got a mission. That's the times that we're going. See, we talk about the elements of chariots and angels coming to the camp, but there's an element of visions and prophetic dreams coming that are going to come at a very intense moment, tense spirit. Where it be like, man, you got to get out of Atlanta, get out of New York. If you can't listen to, you might not want to do that. And that's just helping you save money. What are you going to do when somebody comes with a major thing like that? Like, drop everything. We got to get the hell out of here.
right.
Would you listen? I
You
ain't
dealing
listening
with,
to him.
you're not going, how you going to judge the life and death matters and you can't even judge the $20 matter? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being, using a small example, but if
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying, then you will get it. If
Yep.
you fumbling on some change over here, how you going to deal with a life and death matter? You know what I'm saying? You got people's lives depending on you, and you won't even listen how to handle this little matter here. But then when you got people that's giving you counsel on, you won't listen to that. You're gonna go that way. They're like, but
Crazy. Hey, let
going
me.
back to Hebrew.
Can I read this real quick? I got a word for you.
Okay, come,
This is
come.
the etymology of listen. Check
Mm,
this out. And it says to listen, um, hear, attend to, obey.
going back to that word obey. Yep,
Like when I'm
yep.
telling you, we're fathers. When we're telling our children, hey, stop, sit down, stop jumping on the couch. That's us giving out a commandment that they gotta listen to. They have
Right.
to. We're not having a conversation. You got to be able to distinguish when the conversation is just a friendly debate, when it's serious business, when it's something was just told you to do. You know what I mean? That's the listening. You got to be able to decipher, to listen, and know like, nah, you got to hear what's going on, hear what's being said in the spirit.
Yeah.
This ain't a choice. This was not an opinionated thing. This was not them giving us an opinion. This is them giving us a commandment. Listen
Yep.
or don't listen. You got it, bro.
Yep. Come. Going back to Hebrews 13 and 17 again. It says, "Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls." And I don't think you can stress that enough.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to. You can't just read over that. You really got to listen to what that's saying. It's like, man, put your pride to the side. All of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We all should be thinking the same right now. Putting the pride to the side. Be more willing to listen. It's like, the level of. I'll just say this, bro. The level of faith that the apostles have compared to men that are 2, 3, 4, 5 years is there's a huge gap in the level of faith right there. Now you gonna listen. It's the same thing as you've been on a job for 2 years and you're working with somebody that's been on a job for 25 plus years, same industry, knows all the ins and outs of the same industry. It's like, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and listen to what this guy has to say because he's got the experience level. He's got, because I say this all the time too. Like with the guy I work with, I deal with operating machines, right? And I'll tell him all the time, it's like he's trained me enough to where I can do certain things on my own. But after a while of me fucking up so many times, I tell him, I said, at this point, it's not about the training. I said, at this point, it's all about the experience level of knowing that it operates this certain way. I was like, there's nothing else you can teach me about how to do this the right way. It all depends on, you've done this 1,000 times. So you know how this thing is going to work out because it's just all about the experience level at that point. And it's like, I'm sitting back like, all right, I'm watching now. There's nothing else to do but watch.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with listening. It's like, all right, I've listened to everything he taught me. Now it's time for me to, because the next level is watching. After you've listened enough, it's like, okay, now you got to pay attention to how to see how it's done, and that we're getting to that level next. But if you can't even listen now, man, you're not going to be able to catch it and see it when shit is happening in real time.
That's it, man. I got a word real quick. When I got a word real quick to add to what you
Okay.
said, you got to watch. Another word for watch is observe.
Ooh.
You got to observe, and that comes from sitting back and listening. You know, a lot of and like you said, and that's all of us. We all, as you grow you realize these concepts are gold. You don't
Yeah.
realize how valuable there is to just be, hey man, just sit back and observe and listen. If you sit back and observe and listen, and hey man, I'm gonna hit you with this. You sit back, you listen more than you talk, and you're apt to teach and you're apt to serve your brothers, right? Through humility. I don't think you can fall out. That's how serious that is. I think if you master those elements, if you're apt to teach, so that means you're teaching the right thing. That means you're studying.
Hmm.
You listen way more than you talk, right?
Yeah.
And what was the other one I said?
Apt to teach,
Serve your brothers.
serve your brother. Come.
Yep, and serve. I don't think you can fall out through the spirit. I don't think you can fall out. I think that's like the black sea. That's like the sea moss, black seed oil. You know what I mean? Like there's certain herbs. It's like, you know what? You probably couldn't die if you take these in perfection. Yo,
Right.
just joke. I'm being facetious, but you know. But it says
Hmm.
observe. It says to hold to a manner of life or course of conduct, like you said. Carry out the um the decadence of, attend to in practice, to keep, follow. That's the point. So like you said, like you gotta, there's a time where like you'd be foolish to think that we know everything that the apostles know. Like that's a foolish, prideful thought. Like we're children unto them. You don't think that like they have to water down themselves in a way that we can absorb it? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's because they watch over our soul. But
Yep.
what we're supposed to do is sit back and observe. The apostles and elders through the spirit, they anointed these churches with leadership. And those are the men that they believe in the spirit are set and apt, like in the scriptures, that are elders over the church to be what? Watched. We're supposed to just watch. Watch how, like you said, watch how they move. Watch how
Yeah.
they deal with people.
Yeah.
You know, you got it, brother.
God. This is going back to Hebrews 13 and 17 again. It says, obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. All right. So I'm gonna go from there to Colossians chapter 3 and verse 20, and then I got one more after that, and then I'm done.
Okay.
It says Colossians 3 and 20. It says, children, obey your parents in all things, and we're talking about our spiritual fathers right now. We're not, of course we deal, you got to listen to your parents when you're young, and you always got to honor thy father and thy mother. But we're talking about on the spiritual level.
That's
All
right.
right. It says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And the last precept I got is in the book of Sirach, chapter 21, and verse 15 through 17. It says, a skillful man will hear a wise word. Key word there is hear, right?
Mm.
It says, a skillful man will hear a wise word. He will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him. Oh man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. He too young to be telling me. Well, nah, I know this. I know nobody likes a know-it-all spirit, man. Like the bishop said a while back, man. Nobody wants to be around that know-it-all. You can't take no advice or counsel. You don't want to listen. Well, fine, don't listen. Just don't ask me no more fucking questions, cause I
Yeah, what
ain't
the
got
fuck I
time.
know, right? What the hell do I know then?
Right,
Let me be the
exactly.
simple nigga that you believe I am then.
Right. It says it displeaseth him, and he cast it behind his back. The talking of a fool is like a burden in the way, But grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. And who are the wise? You know, like we mentioned earlier, the apostles and your camp leaders, man. You know, our camp leaders. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to the briefings because I get something to think about. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It says, verse 17, last verse. It says, they inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation. You hear that? I'm not up in Connecticut, you know, talking to the Apostle Tahar or Apostle Gabar. I'm talking to the bishops here in Atlanta. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to the Elder Gamal. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to all, you know, the Elder Bars. All. I'm listening to y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's the congregation I'm in the midst of. That we all should be listening to the wise men that are in our congregation, man. And I'm speaking about here. You know what I'm saying? In general, we're talking about Israel, but right now, I'm speaking personally about here. We all should be listening to the wise men.
Because that's a major problem.
Right.
Jake will only respect the apostles and elders out of New York and Connecticut.
Right.
But then they kind of have they look at they challenge. They have a challenging spirit towards their camp head because it's just like, you know, you sizing them up. Hey man, listen, I'm gonna use the example like what's my man? I don't know his name. You might know from the Celtics. They call him the White Mamba.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Hold on, we right here. Give me a second. I'm gonna look it up.
The White Mamba. White.
I'm gonna get his name. It's a quick story, but the point of what he
Oh, Brian Scalabrine.
Yep, him. Yep. People used to clown him when he was in the league because I just looked him up, right? And one of his seasons average was 1.1 points for the season, right? Per game, right? So he was at a gym, and I mean, bro, he was cooking everybody.
Yeah.
He was cooking everybody. I'm talking about everybody that lined up. He was cooking them, shooting, post up. It was like, and he said, man, listen. He said, I'm way closer to LeBron. He said something to the extent of like, I'm way closer to LeBron than you are to me.
Right.
And he's acknowledging that, man, LeBron is, as far as talent, light years ahead of him. But to the average Joe that's playing basketball, he's better than 99% of everybody out here. He's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Jake be losing sight of that, like, that's LeBron, and that's you're idolizing the people instead of seeing the spirit. Versus, man, the brother that's your camp head, whether he been here for however many years, the experience of which the Alba Shimi Awashai is giving him, it's light years apart. Don't lose sight of that. Exactly. You know, you got it, bro. You had any more precepts?
Last verse.
Okay.
It says, they inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder on his word, and they shall ponder his words in their heart. So not only are you listening, but you got to be thinking about it, man. You know, like I said, when we get our briefing and the elders, the bishops give us some words, counsel, that's something for me to think about for the week. It's like, it may not necessarily be for me, but I'm gonna try to take something from it.
For sure.
And, build and I can touch on this with that. I can touch on that. Maybe I do need to listen more. Maybe I do need to do this more. Maybe I should do this more. Okay, well, there's maybe a technique that was given on, like, with the phone, the screen on the phone thing we was talking about.
Yeah.
Having that on your phone, and that was great advice. I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? As a visual, if you just say you have a problem learning, and you posted that on your phone, that's great. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that taking stuff like that is a part of, and that's a little thing. You taking the little thing. If you're gonna listen with the little thing, you're more than likely gonna listen with the bigger thing.
That's for sure, because it's a respect thing.
Right.
It's a respect thing. See, the Lord told us something little, like, really, The Lord told us something little, like going out and teaching. We heard it and we listened. That's really little in the eyes of the Lord. He calls it the foolishness of preaching. But
Yeah.
this is because we're listening to these things, that when the Lord comes with those, great visions, Lord willingly, we'll have the spirit to listen. Like, because we might be in a moment where the spirit is like, drop everything, get the hell on, like Lot. Drop everything, leave.
Right.
Nah, man, you gonna be like Lot's son-in-laws, in the spirit of, I got this going on, or I got that going on. Let me go line this up. Jacob make 1,001 excuses.
Exactly.
I got one more precept if you don't got anything else, and we can close up after this.
Okay, come.
This is Ecclesiastes 5:1. And it says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right.
Yep.
So maintain your integrity. Maintain that at all times. Sometimes you be in a moment where you're spiritually, you're the oldest of a group. So handle that with integrity. But also remember, in most cases, you're gonna be the youngest in a group. Like, yo, the apostle is here, the elders is here. I'm a babe. I'm the babe in here.
Yeah.
Don't try to. The scriptures say, you're not supposed to, size yourself up with your apostles and elders. So you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you're supposed to be like, you look around the room, be like, damn.
There's a
Yep.
lot of wisdom in the room right
Yep.
now.
I'm the baby. I'm the youngest. I'm the child. Even if
Yeah.
you older, how about you? You could be 15. You could be 15 years in. But if you in a room with men that's 25, 30, 40 years, you know what? I got a little experience, but I'm the child in this situation. That's humility. So it says, be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not, you could break it down and making points too as well, bro. Be not rash with thy mouth. Let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before
Yeah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
There's a time, like it tell you in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. There's a time and a place for everything, man. And even though you may have, you may think you have something to say, man. A lot of times it just be Jake just want to be seen or heard. It's like, man, a lot of times you don't have nothing to say, man. It just can very simply be the water. And there's nothing wrong with just that. It's like we said earlier, man. Nobody likes to know it all, but nobody wants to always got something to say. Person either, man. It's like, man, shh.
That shit's annoying,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? Especially, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah, seriously, man. You don't want to be that person. You want to be, that, cool, calm, and collective, like observing, not being on no devil shit, observing to see a man issues or fall, weaknesses, but no, really like soaking it all in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Soaking it all in from your perspective of where the Lord got you at. You should always maintain soaking it all in. And before you attend to your own spirit, attend to the others. You need something, like when we in gatherings, you need something, you good. Can I grab you something? Can I help you in any way? You good? All right, I'm gonna chill over here. If you need me, you got me. And then you could rest in, and you know what I mean? You could deal, but always maintain this energy of listening. You sitting around the elders. Hey man, I want to hear what they got to say about this. I'm gonna ask a question if you allow me, but I want to know what you think. You know, you over talking your elders and stuff like that. You don't want to be in that spirit. So hey, that's all I have, brother. We've been at it almost 15 minutes. You got anything else?
That's it.
Hey, well, bro, we're gonna close that one up. It's another one in the record books. Hey man, it's happy. It's National Caesar Salad Day. Nah, real shit. It actually is National Caesar Salad Day, man. So fuck that. So, but with that, I'm just being silly. We want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. All right, double honors unto our apostles and elders. Hey, shalom to everybody that tuned in, left a comment, left a scripture. It's greatly appreciated in the spirit, So with that, we want to say shalom.